Hello and welcome to today's edition of the News in Brief on Graphic Online. In the headlines, over 80-acre cannabis farm destroyed in Volta Region by security agencies. ECOWAS leaders hold another emergency summit on political situation in Burkina Faso. Court directs university teachers and government to negotiate to resolve strike. Assin North MP charged with perjury and other criminal offences, but minorities say it is a ploy by government to reduce their numbers in parliament to allow passage of E-levy. And FPSO carrying oil explodes in Nigeria. And now the news in brief. 4 farm workers, a 13-year-old girl, a 16-year-old lactating mother, an 18-year-old pregnant woman, and a 29-year-old man have been arrested for cultivating cannabis at Liati Dafonu in the Afajato South District of the Volta Region. The arrests were made after the Narcotics Control Commission led a joint operation to destroy the farm of over 80 acres of cannabis.
The operation was supported by the Ghana Immigration Service, the National Investigations Bureau, and the Hohoi Divisional Police Command. A team of 70 officers invaded the plantation at about 7 a.m. on Thursday morning. Briefing journalists after the destruction of the wheelands, the head of communications and media relations of NACOG, Mr. Francis Opokwamwa, said although Section 4.3 of the new Narcotics Control Commission Act, Act 1019, Section 39, makes special provision for cannabis cultivation and does not give people the opportunity to go into large-scale farming.
There's no legitimacy. The law does not give us any form to say that don't destroy it, resell it to people, because it is criminal activity. It's against the law, and therefore people who say that don't destroy it, cultivate it and sell it is against the law in our country. Some other part of the world is not as legal, you can do it, but as far as Ghana is concerned and as far as our laws are concerned, it's against the law for you to cultivate cannabis. And I think that is where we need to look at it from.
Heads of state and government of the ECOWAS have convened another extraordinary summit on the political situation in Burkina Faso in Accra on Thursday, February 3. During the opening ceremony of the summit, the chairman of ECOWAS, President Akufo-Addo, expressed worry on the resurgence of coup d'etat in the West African sub-region, urging African leaders to stand firm to protect democracy and freedom in the region.
Excellencies, I commend our continental body, the African Union, on its firm decision to suspend Burkina Faso from participating in AU organs and institutions, in alignment with the decisions of the ECOWAS authority on the situations in Mali and Burkina Faso. The African Union expressed strong support to the efforts of ECOWAS in addressing peace and security challenges facing the region, including the resurgence of military coups. This is the solidarity and international coalition that are needed to halt the political turbulence in our region and the continent at large. Excellencies, in this extraordinary summit, we'll also examine the recent development of the situations in the Republic of Guinea and the Republic of Mali.
The Accra High Court is directing the University Teachers Association of Ghana and the government to engage further negotiations to resolve UTAG strike action, which has crippled public universities. The court is adjourning the case to February 10 to await the outcome of negotiations. The court gave the directive on Thursday, February 3, after the National Labour Commission filed an application for the court to order members of UTAG to return to lecture halls while negotiations continued. UTAG members embarked on the strike on January 10 this year, calling on the employer to restore members to the 2013 interim market premium of 114% of basic salary. They also want the government to go ahead to formulate guidelines to implement the appropriate recommendations to address the general conditions of service of university teachers.
It was fixed for the hearing of an application by the National Labour Commission, which has come to court imploring the court to enforce its directives. And again, as you must be aware, that directive was to compel the University Teachers Association of Ghana to call off the strike. So that application was to be heard today, all ready to make legal argument, to canvass legal arguments for or against an order of the court for the enforcement of the directives of the National Labour Commission. But the judge decided that we should meet in chambers. And when we went to chambers, the judge decided that we should take another bite at an opportunity to try to settle out of court. So that's what took place today. We made it clear to the judge that the National Executive doesn't have the power to call off a strike. That decision is solely in the hands of the National Executive Committee and the general membership of the University Teachers Association of Ghana. So we asked for time for the UTAG National Executive to go and hold the necessary consultations and then report back to the court on the 10th of February at 1 p.m. So basically that's what happened today.
Still in court, the Member of Parliament for Assin North, James Gyekye, has been charged with criminal offences over his alleged dual nationality when he contested the 2020 parliamentary elections. The Attorney General is dragging Mr. Kwesi to Accra High Court on 5 counts of forgery of passport or travel certificates, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury and false declaration for office.
The case was expected to be heard on Thursday, February 3, but the prosecution informed the court that all efforts to reach Mr. Kwesi to serve him with the processes had proved futile. The court therefore directed that a hearing notice be issued and served on Mr. Kwesi. The case will return to court on February 9.
Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament says it will resist any attempt by the government to use the courts to reduce its numbers in Parliament in order to pass the electronic transaction bill. The minority leader Haruna Idrisu says efforts by the government to stop the Assin North MP, Mr. James Gyekye, from holding himself out as the elected MP for the area would be contrary to democratic norms, values and constitutionalism. In our final story, a floating production, storage and offloading vessel, FPSO, carrying about 2 million barrels of oil has exploded off the coast of Nigeria. The incident is reported to have happened in the early hours of Thursday, February 3, 2022. According to reports, the FPSO exploded at the Upoti oil field off Nigeria's coast near the Escravos terminal, close to the River Niger Delta. Reports by Reuters agency suggested the vessel had 10 crew members on board who are yet to be accounted for. News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Visit us on graphic.com.gh for further information. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
Thank you for watching today's edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. I'm Ama Echa Amankwa Befi.
Subscribe now.